Hello, everyone. My name is Mr. Minnick. That's my name. Math is my game. I'm actually joined by a live audience today. I won't tell you who they are to protect their anonymity, but they're excited to be here because it's Friday. So, this homework, I have a feeling that tonight it's going to be a good night. That tonight's going to be a good night. Anyway, I got a feeling that a lot of people on this homework either said, well, this is too much work, I'm not going to do it, or did one or two, or didn't do it at all. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to speculate that. I'm just here to go over the whole thing. So here it is from the beginning. Number one, a picture they say is worth 1,000 words, and that couldn't be more true in number one. They say identify the vertex. I'm a big fan of El Cheapo answers, so I'm gonna put this on a new page and show you what El Cheapo is all about. And I hope nobody takes offense to that. They say that this current generation is easily offended. I don't mean to offend anybody when I say El Cheapo, but anyone ever see the pictures of funny test answers? Like find X and somebody circles X and says, here it is. So identify the vertex. There it is. That's El Cheapo, right? There it is. Is that what they're looking for? I don't think so. What they wanted you to say here is that the vertex has coordinates 0, -4, okay? Then they say identify the axis of symmetry. So again, saying here it is. Well, no, the axis of symmetry in this first one, it would be this vertical line. It would be this vertical line, so it would be x equals 0 for the axis of symmetry there, okay? The minimum or maximum value of this, since the graph opens up, this does have a minimum. I hope we get that by now. I really hope we get that. And the minimum value is 4, -4. The minimum value is -4. And I think that's all you had to do for number one, right? That's pretty much just what we had talked about in the last section, kind of revisited. Everybody all right so far? Okay. Well, now here's where the fun begins. We had to graph numbers 2 and 3. Sometimes I feel like one of those animals at the zoo. Anybody ever go to the zoo and watch the cheetahs? What do the cheetahs do? They pace back and forth, and they have a little trail that's about 6 feet deep from pacing back and forth all day. One of these days, the front of the room here is going to be like that. Okay. So if I didn't have graph paper, this homework was probably going to be difficult to do. If anybody ever needs graph paper, I got a whole bunch of it up here. The first thing I should do on this is to find a starting point, which would be what? I could graph the y-intercept. I get that for free. That's not a bad idea. 0, 4. So right there, that's the y-intercept. That doesn't really tell me anything else about the rest of the graph. So what do I need to find? I got to find the vertex. So if you weren't here yesterday, we had two formulas. The x-coordinate of the vertex is found by this formula, -b/2a. Making some substitutions, we're going to have -2. Divided by 2 times 1, which is going to be 2/2, which is 1. Once I get that, then I could, you won't, but I could, you won't, I'm going to. I could sketch this axis of symmetry. So there it is. I'm trying to sketch my axis of symmetry. My smartboard and I aren't getting along today. Here we go. There's my axis of symmetry. How's everybody doing so far? Now, I need to find the y-coordinate of my vertex, and technically, I could without even doing anything else if I understand the way A works. If I understand the way A works, since my A is 1, from the vertex, I go over 1 and up 1, and my vertex is actually going to be right there at 1, 3. If you don't believe me, check this out. So K is 1 squared minus 2 times 1 plus 4. So that's 1 minus 2 plus 4. If you weren't here on yesterday, we said that there's a landmark. There's a way to check to see if you're doing these right. This number and this number should be, how should they compare? Double opposites, and they are, so I'm on the right track. And I get negative 1 plus 4, which is 3. So I got my vertex, and I'm good. And I'm good. So we're almost done, huh? Let's plot one more point. By symmetry, we could plot this point over here, and that's probably good enough for now. If you wanted more points, certainly not that difficult to do. Since a is 1, if we think back to the parent function, the parent goes through 1, 1, 2, 4. So what that means is I could go over 2 units and up 1, 2, 3, 4 from the vertex, and over 2 and up 1, 2, 3, 4 from the vertex to get some additional points. And that's how I would graph that one. Okay. Any questions? It's kind of weird because my live group here might have the exact same questions as the next group that watches this back. Any comments, concerns, short debates? To be frank with you, even though my name is not Frank, to be frank with you, on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as difficulty, this one's probably about a 2. This is about as straightforward as they get. So if you struggle with this one, you're going to need to go back to the drawing board, look over your notes. Did anybody get this one on their own? Anybody figure it out? So if you had a couple little math errors in the calculations, not the end of the world. But like I said, I don't want to burst anybody's bubble. But yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10 difficulty, this one's probably about a 2. You should have been able to do that one, not too difficult, with not too much difficulty. Now I'm going to be honest with you on number 3. They want you to graph this one, and this one's going to be a lot more difficult. Why? Because when you find the vertex is not going to be integer values, at least the x-coordinate from what I could tell so far. When I find the vertex here, I'm going to get the opposite of negative 3 over 2 times negative 1. So I get 3 over negative 2, so that's negative 3 halves. Remember, decimals don't exist. So if you had negative 1.5, you're in junior varsity math, and decimals don't exist. Until further notice, decimals don't exist. I said that yesterday. So that's negative 1.5. So there's my axis of symmetry. Everybody all right so far? That's 3 over negative 2. Yeah, sorry, my handwriting kind of got a little lopsided there. That's 3 divided by negative 2, which simplifies to negative 3 halves. So K is going to be, maybe I should use that other formula, huh? The 4AC formula. I'm going to use that for the other coordinate of the vertex. So 4 times negative 1 times 6 minus negative 3, the quantity squared, divided by 4 times negative 1. So this is going to be negative 24 minus 9 over negative 4. So that's negative 33 over negative 4, which is 33 over 4. Oh, man, that's a lot of work. Now, if you don't know what that is as a decimal equivalent, it's 8 1/4. It's 8 1/4. 8 1/4. So my vertex is going to be up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 1/4. So there's my vertex at the points negative 3 halves, negative 3. My smart board and I tell you what, it's going to be a long day. Negative 3 halves, 33 fourths. Okay. Now, somebody mentioned the y-intercept earlier, huh? Let's take a look at that y-intercept. It's going to be what in this one? It's going to be 6. So another point we go through is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to go through those points. If you wanted an additional point or two from the vertex, we would go over 1 and up or down how much? Over 1 and down whatever A is. Over 1 and down 1. Over 1 and down 1 from the vertex. Since A is negative 1, we go over 1 and down 1. Remember, that was That was at 8 1/4. So this point here is going to be negative a half, comma, 7 1/4. Okay. So this one's really not fun because of all the fractions involved. Okay. I like fractions. I like turtles too, but that's another story. So that's really what you should have had for number 3. Now I have a fear that there are about 1/3 of you in here who are scared of technology, who don't want to even think about technology to try this. So what I'm going to do real quick is just show you that you can use something like a TI Inspire, maybe a TI 83 or 84, maybe even that one Chrome app. What's that Chrome app that I asked you to download? Desmos. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for this to load, I could tell you a funny story about a man named Jed, a poor mountaineer who barely kept his family fed. That's not funny though, is it? That's the Beverly Hillbillies. That's the Beverly Hillbillies. I could tell you something that was very coincidental. Yesterday morning on my way here, I took a picture of a spider web with dew on it. Anybody ever see a spider web with dew on it? It's one of the most beautiful things you'll ever see. And so last night I went to this meeting and this guy showed me a picture. He said, "You'll never believe what I took a picture of." And I said, "What time of day was it?" He said, 7 o'clock. I took mine at 6:40. He took a picture of a spider web with dew on it. Isn't that kind of coincidental? Was the guy watching me do that? No, he didn't. He had no idea. He lives miles and miles away from me. So here we go. This was negative x squared. What was next? Was it plus 3x? Plus 3x plus 6? Minus 3x? Okay. Minus 3x and then plus 6. So there's the graph. If I wanted to calculate my vertex, I might need to zoom out. Or I actually on this one, I could just kind of move my axes around. So I'm going to use analyze. Got to be careful how you say that. And I'm going to calculate the maximum. So there's my vertex at 1.5, 8 1/4. Actually, it's negative 1.5, 8 1/4. Everybody doing all right? And if I wanted to see a table of values, I could go Control T. I said I could go Control T, and my smart board and I are going to have one of those days today. I could go Control T, and I should see the 0.06 in the table, and there it is. We doing all right? I could set my table settings up to find some other points, but I think you get the idea that we graphed that one, right? Is everybody cool? All right, good. Okay, so that gets us through the first 3. We got a long way to go still. So number 4 and 5. Now, didn't we do 5 yesterday in class? Okay, so 5, if you missed number 5, I think we had y equals negative the quantity of x something. Was it minus 3/2? Minus 3/2, the quantity squared, and then plus what? Thank you, plus 5/4. So this is probably something you'll want to watch this video back for. And if you're watching it back, this is something you might want to watch in slow motion. I'm going to use Google Docs. I'm going to use Google Docs. So let's see. Why are you using Google Docs? Well, because not everybody's got Microsoft Office. So I'm going to use Google Docs. So I'm going to click this little, you know what they call this button up here that looks like a waffle? They call it the waffle button. It looks like a waffle and they call it the waffle button. So here's my Google Docs. A waffle button. They call it a waffle button because it looks like a waffle. They call it a waffle button. So I want Google Docs. So I'm going to click this Create New. It should ask me what kind of doc I want to create. Oh, maybe it didn't. I don't want to create a Word document though. Let me try this again. Let me go to Google Docs. Google. Seriously? Google Docs. It's weird because Google Docs takes you to the word processor, but Google Docs will take you to the one where you can do the spreadsheets as well. Does anybody know where I'm going with this? What I'm about to do? The math that we did in Math Excel yesterday, yeah. If my computer cooperates with me, I'm going to show you how to do that one more time. And if it doesn't cooperate, well, then I might have to get upset and try to maintain my composure and not yell. And this is why I like Office, because I would have had Office up and running by now. Google Docs. Let's try this. Maybe I got to click this thing. There we go. Google Sheets. That's what I need, Google Sheets. Right. So here we go. I'm going to put a column with A's in it and a column with B's in it. Not to be confused with B's in the Trap. And a column with C's in it. That song's probably not even on the radio anymore, is it? Okay. So I got 1, -2, and 9. 1, -2, and 9. So I got 1, -2, and 9. And the formula for H is it's -b divided by the group. If you don't use the parentheses here, you're going to get this wrong. That parentheses is very important. Divided by the group of 2 times A. And I better close it or it's going to give me some kind of silly warning. So I'll press enter and there we go. And then my K is A times H squared. And then plus B times H. And then plus C. And so when I do that work, I get 1/8 for number 4. 1/8 for the vertex. And you might say, well, that's cheating. Well, it kind of is. It kind of is. Do we have to do what? You had to find the vertex because it says put it in vertex form. It says put it in vertex form. So we found our vertex, and so number 4, what you should have had is y equals x minus 1, the quantity squared, plus 8. Did anybody have that for number 4? If you had 10, well, let's see how this goes. Number 4, you should have had h is -2 divided by 2 times 1, which is 2 over 2, which is 1. And there's two formulas you could have used to find k. Did you use the 4AC formula or the other one? Okay, so k is 4 times A times C minus B squared divided by 4 times A. So that's going to be 36 minus 4 over 4, which is 32 over 4. If I had to assume what happened there, you probably added the 4 on the end if you came up with 10. Yeah. Okay. So that gets us up to 4 and 5. We got a question. So in vertex form, we got a good question. Remember, vertex form is y equals a times x minus h, the quantity squared, plus k. And so what happens is in here you would expect an x plus 1, but because it's counterintuitive, it's going to be x minus 1 in the quantity there. Okay. Yeah, the whole fact that h is counterintuitive, that still is in play. So if the h is positive in the group, it's going to be negative and vice versa, right? If it's a negative in there, what, like in this right here? So in that, well, maybe this will kind of clear some things up. That's kind of the same thing as x minus, well, let me show you this. Suppose we had y equals x plus 4, the quantity squared. There my h is negative 4, because this is really the same thing as x minus negative 4. Yeah, I don't know if that kind of helps make a little more sense of that. Okay. Well, we got a long way to go, and we got about 20 minutes to do it. So let's see. Number 6 is the next one. Once we get off the first page, I think it'll go a lot faster. But number 6 says troubleshoot. It says this student did something wrong. First of all, they called the x coordinate of the vertex x. What should they have called it? They should have called it h. So what they should have done is h is negative 4. That's their mistake. They just said x is negative 4. They should have said it's negative 4. It's negative 4 over 2 times 2. So it's 4 over 4, which is 1. So their vertex, the h, is wrong. Do you remember what I said yesterday, why I don't like that one formula that the book gives you? I don't like that formula because if you mess up your h, then your k is going to be wrong too, right? Okay. So what they should have had for k then is 2 times 1, the quantity squared, minus 4 times 1, minus 3. So that's 2 times 1 minus 4 minus 3. That's 2 minus 4 minus 3. So that's negative 2 minus 3. So that's negative 5. So their vertex should have been 1, negative 5. Now, should I double check this using my Google Sheet? Does anybody know how to use drag and drop in Excel? Because it's the same thing as Google Sheets. Check this out. I'm going to highlight these 2 cells. And then I'm going to drag and drop this formulae down here. Bless you, we had a sneeze. It's always interesting when we watch the video back if somebody sneezes in the playback. So then we got 2, negative 4, negative 3. 2, negative 4, negative 3. I said negative 3. And check it out. There it is, 1, negative 5. We doing all right? Would it be nice if I shared that Google Sheet with you? I don't know how to do that, though, because I'm old school. I don't know how to share. In the top right where it says share, I click that. I got to type in every email in the whole school. I'm going to share it with one lucky person. Who wants it shared? I got to volunteer. I got to title my document. There we go. No, it's Vertex. Vertex. And who am I sharing it to? MK UZNI. Do I got it? Is that it? SKI, like that? At jagschools.org. There we go. Can edit. Sure, why not? There you go. All right. Everybody all right so far? So if you would like that file, you can ask Mr. Kuzniakowski, and he'll share it with you as well. All right, number 7, what's the difference between finding the vertex of a function in vertex form and the vertex of a function in standard form? One's easy and one's not as easy. There you go. It's that simple, right? One of them you got to use 2 formulae. The other one you just got to remember that h is counterintuitive. Okay, so that gets us off the first page. Thank goodness we're finally done with the first page. All right. Well, now that we have a total of 840 seconds left, let's see if we could do this. I got 840 seconds to get the rest of this out the way. Number 8. Should I use my sheet or should I try number 8 by hand? 8 by hand. I could show you something that we're going to be doing in about 5 weeks. H is negative 2 over 2 times 1. So that's negative 2 over 2, so that's negative 1. K is negative 1, the quantity squared, plus 2 times negative 1, plus 1. So that's 1 minus 2, so that's negative 1 plus 1. So K is 0 on this. So K is 0. So you should have had, for number 8, negative 1, 0. X equals negative 1. And that has a min value of 0. Everybody all right with 8? Everybody cool with 8? Okay. About to look at 12 here then. Oh, the range. So the range on 8, thank you, good looking out. The range on 8 is all the y values that are greater than or equal to 0. All the y values greater than or equal to 0. So number 12, I've got h is minus 4 over 2 times 3. So that's going to be 4 6. Doesn't that reduce to 2/3? And so k is 4 times 3 times negative 2 minus negative 4, the quantity squared, all over 4 times 3. So that's going to be negative 24 minus 16 over 12. So that's negative 40 over 12, which is negative 20 over 6, which is negative 10 over 3. So on number 12, my vertex is 2/3, negative 10/3. My axis of symmetry is x equals 2/3. The graph opens up, so my min value is negative 10/3, and the range goes from negative 10/3 to infinity. There we go. How's everybody so far? Should we try our Google Sheet? Negative 10/3 is negative 3.3, repeating in case you're wondering. So 3, negative 4, negative 2. 3, negative 4, negative 2. And I guess I need to drag and drop that formula down, don't I? There we go, 2/3 and negative 3 1/3. We doing all right? Okay. Number 16. Number 16h is negative 0 over 2 times 2, so that's 0. K is 2 times 0 squared plus 5, so my vertex is 0, 5. The axis of symmetry, x equals 0. The min value is 5, and the range goes from 5 to infinity. How we doing? Instead of going to the graphs, can we try the story problem next? Sure, I like to jump around. So let's go to the story problem by request. Which one is it? 44? 30 what? 32? I doubt I could find it. Okay. A company's revenue from selling some type of software is modeled by this equation, where P is the price in dollars. And they're saying what price will maximize the revenue and what is the maximum revenue. So basically they're asking us, let's find the vertex. And the x coordinate is going to be like the P, which is the price. The y coordinate is going to be like the R, which is the revenue. So H is negative 500 divided by 2 times negative 2.5. So that's going to be negative 500 divided by negative 5, which is 100. So part A to that, the price that will maximize the revenue, wouldn't be 100. It's 100 what? 100 doll hairs. 100 doll hairs. So then the K, which is really the R, is going to be negative 2.5 times 100 doll hairs squared plus 500 times 100. So this is negative 2.5 times a 1 with 4 zeros, whatever that is. That's 10,000, I guess. Plus a 5 with 4 zeros. So that's negative 25,000 plus 50,000. So that's going to be 25,000. So the maximum, the maximum revenue then would be $25,000. One thing I want you to notice: how many times, other than graphing, how many times have I relied on my calculator to make any of these calculations? I'm modeling that behavior because that's what I expect of you. You should be able to make all these calculations so far without a calculator. This is varsity math. So we've jumped around, we've gone out of order. My computer is freezing. So I reckon we're up to number 20, huh? So 20 asks me to graph this function. I told you it's going to be a long day with the smartboard. Long day with the smartboard. Okay. How many seconds do we have left? Not much. H is negative 12 divided by 2 times 4, so that's 12/8. Those are both divisible by 4, so that's going to be 3/2. Boy, what's their deal with fractions on these graphs? So there's my axis of symmetry right there. There's my axis of symmetry. That's supposed to be over 1.5 units. There we go. And so my K is going to be, now do you want to see me calculate this with a fraction just for the practice sake? So it's 4 times 3/2 squared minus 12 times 3/2 plus 9. So this is 4 times 9/4 minus, I'm going to cross cancel. That's a 6 and that's a 1, so that's minus 18 plus 9. So that cross cancels. That's 9 minus 18 plus 9. So that's negative 9 plus 9. So that's going to be 0. So the vertex is it's 3/2 0. So there's my vertex right there. Since A is 4, I go over 1 and up. I go over 1 and up 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1 and up 1, 2, 3, 4. I also get my y-intercept at 0, 9, and by symmetry then I can get this point right here, and there we've got it. There we've got it. Again, how many times did I go to the graphing calculator? You might think, well, you're the math overlord. Well, that may be true, but you can do all this stuff too if you put everything to practice. We okay so far? Okay. Actually, we have a little more time left than I thought. Let's try number 24. I think we might be able to finish this in time. It's going to be close, but I think we could finish this in time. So on this, H is negative 2 over 2 times a hizzy. So that's negative 2 over 1, which is negative 2. K is a half times negative 2, the quantity squared, plus 2 times negative 2, minus 8. So that's 1/2 of 4 minus 4 minus 8. So that's 2 minus 4 minus 8. That's negative 2 minus 8. So that's negative 10. And I just dropped my magic marker like it's hot. My vertex is negative 2, negative 10. So the graph's going to start down there. I'm going to go over 1 and up a half, over 1 and up a half. I'm going to go over 2 and up 2, over 2 and up 2. And hey, look, my y-intercept ended up where it should have been, didn't it? I'm going to go over 3. The parent function says let's go over 3 and up 9. But I'm multiplying that y part, that 9 by half. So I would go over 3 and up 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. And that's how I'm getting those other points. So there we go. There's that one. Okay, that's 24. This will be up on my YouTube channel. Should I write down my YouTube channel for all the world to see? Okay. 28's next. 28's next. And I think we'll be able to finish this. So here's my YouTube channel. It's all caps up until the It's JAG HS Math, and then a capital R, and then little 203. There it is. That's my YouTube channel if you want to write that down. So let's see. H is -7 over 2 times 4, so that's -7/8. K is 4 times A times C minus 7 squared over 4 times 4. So that's -49/16. So I get y equals 4 times x plus 7/8, the quantity squared, minus 49/16. Did anybody have 28? If you did, you should pat yourself on the back. That's a really tough problem. Probably the toughest one in the whole homework. If you did you figure it out by hand? Awesome. Good. Are there any questions before we look at the next one? So I think we still got a couple left. We did 32. I think we got 40 and 44, and then that's it, huh? And 36. So 36 says, okay, let's sketch the parabola. They already give you just about all you need, don't they? I can't believe the point they give you. That's crazy. They give you the vertex at 2, 3. There's a vertex at 2, 3. And they gave you the point 6, 9. So over to, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so they give you that. By symmetry, I guess, let's see, that was over 1, 2, 3, 4. So over 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's not bad. Yeah, what's so hard about that? So we got 2 left, and I think we'll have enough time. I'm going to be stoked that we finished this. Find the unknown coefficients. It says find B and C. Oh, I feel like Annie from Annie on this one. Oh, they give us the vertex. So H is 1. So 1 is -b over 2 times -3. So 1 is -b over -6. I cross multiply and I get -6 is -b. So b is 6, not to be confused with in the trap. And let's see. K is 0, so 0 is -3 times 1 squared plus 6 times 1 plus c. So 0 is -3 plus 6 plus c. So 0 is 3 plus c. So c is -3. C is -3. There you go. Did anyone figure that one out? Okay, I lied about the last one. That one's probably the toughest one in the whole homework. Okay. Well, we got one more. 44 says, use examples to show that the student is wrong as the graph gets wider as A increases. No, as A increases, the graph actually gets narrower. Part B, summarize the relationship between the absolute value of A and the width. I think we did that in the last section. So that's it. It's been real. It's been fun. My name's Mr. Minnick. I hope you found this educational. If you think my calculations are too fast, they do call me the math overlord for good reason. So have a great day. Real quick, are there any last shout-outs? Shout-outs? I get, hey, the future Mr. Minnick. The other classes, get a shout-out. Good. See you next time.